Hi everybody, my name's Uriel Martinez. I'm a concentrator in neuroscience, and today I'll be talking a little bit about my thesis and its exploration into the relationship between EEG, REM theta, spectral power, and extinction retention. So what are those concepts or ideas that you might ask? And I'm glad you asked. So the first of those two components really is this idea of extinction retention, which is very much based in fear conditioning research. And classical conditioning, you might be familiar with Pavlov's dog, where essentially a conditioned stimulus, in this particular case for fear conditioning, like a tone, a neutral tone, is paired with an unconditioned stimulus, like a shock. And that pairing over time, that association, is stored in the lateral nucleus of the amygdala as a sort of fear memory. And over time, that paired conditioned stimulus is able to produce this threat response independently. And that might include things like freezing, an increase in blood pressure, hormones like glucocorticoids, cortisol in particular for humans. And that's due in particular to the HPA axis, the release of these hormones. The sympathetic nervous system is also involved in this fear response, which is part of the autonomic nervous system. And it's also responsible for an increase in the skin conductance response due to a rise in sweat inside the eccrine sweat glands. But what we're really interested in is extinction, which is the reduction in the fear response once the previously paired conditioned stimulus is presented without the aversive stimulus. So these fear circuits are thought to be important for the etiology of PTSD. And individuals with PTSD have also been observed to have potentially reduced emotional memory consolidation. And that's where this idea of REM sleep kind of goes in. REM sleep is a specific stage of sleep thought to be important for emotional memory consolidation. And theta power, a specific frequency band measured with EEG, has also been implicated in emotional memory consolidation. So the thought is, for this thesis, is that there would be a positive association between the retention of not only fear memories, but extinction memories. So methodologically, we use the Malad paradigm, which measures skin conductance response and subjective measures of expectancy, and is broken down into 4 phases of habituation, fear conditioning, extinction learning, extinction recall. Habituation, participants are exposed to all possible combinations. Fear conditioning is very similar to what we talked about a little bit before. You have the pairing of 2 conditioned stimuli. One is not paired with an aversive finger shock. And in extinction learning, you have one of those 2 conditioned stimuli presented without the shock. In extinction recall, all of these conditioned stimuli are presented again with the interspersed conditioned stimulus that was not paired. Off to the left and right hand side, you can kind of see how that paradigm might line up. Red, in this case, being red and blue being the paired conditioned stimuli, Y indicating the shock during fear conditioning on the left hand side, and on the right hand side you see red being extinguished and all of the stimuli being recalled on the very right hand side. So PSG is used to measure EEG, REM theta power, EEG in particular. And what we really care about across all these different nights is this consolidation night. So looking at discussion, while there weren't really any significant results per se, we did find a trend when it came to the average frontal and just average overall theta power in relation to unextinguished fear retention. However, there didn't seem to be a relationship with extinction retention, our primary question for this thesis. But future directions might be to essentially look into other components of theta, or just maybe have samples with a higher amount of PTSD acuity. Thank you for listening.